Your Pi Network tokens are stuck at 49 cents, while Bitcoin hits $118,000. Here's why. Bitcoin just smashed through $118,000, Ethereum jumped 8% in a single day, and altcoins are exploding with double-digit gains. Meanwhile, your Pi Network investment is dead in the water with a pathetic 2.2% gain. If you're holding Pi tokens and wondering why you're missing out on the biggest crypto rally in history, I'm about to expose the 3 brutal reasons Pi Network is being left behind, and reveal whether this is your last chance to cut losses or the perfect opportunity to load up before the explosion. Over 215 million Pi tokens are about to flood the market. Exchanges are loaded with 381 million tokens ready to dump, and most investors have no idea what's coming. But here's the kicker. Some analysts are predicting Pi Network could hit $500 by the end of 2025. Before we dive into this chaos, follow my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description right now, because that's where I share the exclusive Pi Network updates that could save or make your investment. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. While Bitcoin is making millionaires and Ethereum just jumped 8% in a day, Pi Network managed a whopping 2.2% gain. That's not even enough to cover inflation, let alone make you rich. Right now, Pi is trading around 49 cents, and honestly, that's been the story for weeks. I know what you're thinking because I've thought it too. Did I waste my time? Should I have just bought Bitcoin instead? These are the questions keeping Pi Network holders up at night, and if you're asking them, you're not alone. Millions of pioneers are feeling the same way right now. Here's what's really going on, and why the mainstream crypto world isn't taking Pi Network seriously yet. First, there's barely any liquidity. Think about it like this. Imagine trying to sell a house in a town where only 5 people have money to buy. That's Pi Network right now. There just aren't enough buyers and sellers to create the kind of price movements we see with other cryptocurrencies. Second, and this one hurts to admit, there are serious concerns about how centralized Pi Network still is. I've been following this project for years, and I still hear people say one couple controls everything. Whether that's fair or not, perception is reality in crypto. Big investors won't touch something they think is too centralized. Third, communication has been a disaster. The Pi Network team keeps us in the dark about so many things. When was the last time you got a clear, straightforward update about what's actually happening? Compare that to how other crypto projects communicate with their communities. It's night and day. Now here's where things get really interesting, and honestly, a little scary. Over 215 million Pi tokens are about to unlock, and exchanges are already loaded with 381.4 million tokens. That's a lot of selling pressure coming our way. Gate.io alone has 178.5 million Pi tokens sitting there, and BitGet has another 133.7 million. What does this mean for you and me? Well, when there are more tokens available to sell, and not enough buyers, the price usually goes down. It's basic supply and demand. I've seen this happen with other projects, and it's never pretty in the short term. Here's where it gets crazy. While everyone's panicking about the token unlocks and the price struggles, some analysts are throwing around numbers that sound absolutely insane. We're talking about predictions of $500 to $520 by the end of 2025. Yeah, you heard that right, from 50 cents to $500. Now, I'm not saying I believe these predictions, but I'm also not saying they're impossible. Crypto is weird like that. Sometimes the projects that struggle the most in the beginning end up having the biggest explosions later. Let me be straight with you about something. If you're holding Pi Network tokens, you're not just investing in a cryptocurrency, you're betting on a completely different vision of how crypto should work. Most cryptocurrencies are designed for traders and investors. Pi Network was built for regular people like you and me. The current price action doesn't necessarily mean the project is failing. It might just mean we're still early. Really early. Like so early that the market hasn't figured out how to value what Pi Network is trying to do. The next few months are going to test every single one of us. Those token unlocks are going to happen whether we like it or not. The price might go down before it goes up. Some people are going to panic sell and leave the community. That's just how these things work. But here's what I've learned after years in crypto. The projects that survive these difficult periods are usually the ones that end up rewarding their believers the most. The question is, do you still believe in what Pi Network is trying to accomplish? Look, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but I am telling you what I see. Pi Network is trying to do something that's never been done before. Create a cryptocurrency that billions of people can actually use. That's ambitious as hell, and ambitious projects don't usually follow the same playbook as everything else. The liquidity problems, the centralization concerns, the communication issues, these are all valid and pressing challenges facing Pi Network today. Many pioneers are frustrated by the lack of access to convert their Pi into usable value, while others are wary of how much control seems to rest with the core team. On top of that, poor or inconsistent communication has left much of the community confused or misinformed about the project's current status and future direction. These aren't just small roadblocks, they're real obstacles that have slowed momentum and shaken confidence. But here's the important part. These are also exactly the kinds of problems that, once solved, can unlock massive value. Liquidity can be built with time, partnerships, and the right financial infrastructure. Centralization can shift gradually as governance evolves and the ecosystem matures. And communication can improve with transparency and community involvement. If Pi Network can overcome these hurdles, it won't just survive. It could become one of the few crypto projects that moves from speculative hype to real-world utility. That's why paying attention and staying involved right now matters more than ever. If you're feeling frustrated, I get it. The waiting, the uncertainty, the lack of clear updates, it's enough to wear anyone down. After years of mining and hoping, it's natural to feel impatient or even disillusioned when things don't seem to be moving fast enough. Some pioneers are reaching their limit, wondering if the promises of the project will ever be fulfilled, and if you're thinking about selling or stepping back, that's a personal choice. And no one can blame you for wanting clarity or results. But whatever you decide, make sure you're making that decision with a clear head and a full understanding of where the project actually stands. Don't act just because you're tired of waiting. Look at the fundamentals, the progress, and the potential. Ask yourself whether the vision of Pi Network still makes sense, whether the infrastructure is growing, and whether the long-term value still seems possible. Emotional decisions can cost more than just missed gains. They can lead to regret if the project delivers down the line. Stay informed, stay rational, and make choices based on facts, not frustration. The pioneers who stick around through this consolidation phase might be the ones who benefit the most when things finally turn around. But that's a decision only you can make for yourself. If this video helped you understand what's really happening with Pi Network, hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you're planning to do. Are you holding strong, or are you thinking about cutting your losses? Don't forget to subscribe because I'll be covering every major development in the Pi Network story. And seriously, follow my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description. That's where the real conversations happen and where I share updates that don't make it into these videos. The Pi Network journey isn't over, it might just be getting started. But either way, we're going to figure it out together. What do you think happens next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.